what I have here is half a cup of water in a stainless steel pot, and I've got Liquid Stevia. I will show you the brand I like. I'll link it in the show notes. The reason I use Liquid Stevia instead of a powder is because powders tend to have the allulose and fluff everything up to where it's lots of bubbles. And so you don't, of course, have to use stevia, liquid stevia, in the bread and butter pickle brine. You can use liquid monk. Was it monk fruit? Yeah. I think there are a couple of other liquid, healthy sugar alternatives to sweetening this. I have some celery flakes, some mustard seeds, some whole cloves, and some broken up cinnamon sticks, and half a cup of white distilled vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. I just prefer that for the color, and some kosher salt. What I'm going to be pickling with these things is not a traditional cooked pickle. I'm not putting these things in a canning jar to can and pressure or water bathe. I'm doing it from basically raw to hot liquid to the refrigerator. So it's very simple, few steps as far as intensive once you get the brine done. You can definitely make more brine than I'm making today and keep it on hand. So here we go. Just a pinch of kosher salt. That's my pinch. Not much. Maybe more. There we go. Not even quite an eighth. And we're going to add, for every half cup of sugar, you want to add a teaspoon of liquid stevia, at least this brand. However, I don't particularly like these to be super candy sweet, so I'm just using the 3/4. So I'm going to go with 3 of these. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to use this handy dandy thing to stir some stuff around because I'm not using it again. Get our vinegar in here. Skills. Made it. And probably just a couple good sized broken pieces of the cinnamon, because this is not a very big bunch of water. And I just like this to be a little bit of a hint. 1, 2, let's say 3, 1 more. 4. I will make a video one day and show you how I store these. They're magnified to the back of my cabinet door, so they don't take up space. I'll get to that. I can actually put the link to what those are in my show notes too. And then we're just going to put in 4 cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somehow I want to make those. I'm just doing 2 jars today, I think. So hopefully I can make them disperse into the jars as well. And we're going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seed, which static electricity likes to make them stick there. And just 1/4. And a 1/4 teaspoon of celery flakes, which are not my favorite, but it aids in the flavor. Now you can add, if you'd like, a dash of nutmeg, or if you have, whole nutmeg you want to grate in here. I'm just going to keep it simple for right now. And what else I like to do is take the remainder of the previous jar that I already had canned, and I want to add it to this to just reconstitute everything to have the same flavor. We're going to boil this for just a couple minutes and then go ahead and can our items. But right now, this is your brine. You can pickle carrots with this. You can pickle just about anything that you would slice or shred up raw. One of my other favorites is red onions because it tends to turn the brine pink. You can, of course, pickle regular onions. Just about anything you want to pickle with a bread and butter, that sweet and sour tone to it. Okay, now on to canning the beets. We're going from them raw. Anytime you work with beets, you do want to wear some gloves on your hands to not get your fingers stained. And it could potentially stain your countertop too, so be very careful with that. First, of course, peel off the outside of the raw beet. Hey, look, I got more to show you. And I've already done most of these. And in this slicer, I do like this because they're a little bit more substantial. And I put a carrot in there too. It's a little bit more substantial than shredded. So you can do either way. I like these because they have a little bit more of a bite to them. And when they pickle, they have some crunch and they hold their shape a little bit better. The carrots are going to turn a slightly pale pink just because beets tend to dye everything. So when using this particular mandolin, I keep wanting to say Mandalorian. I am that weird. When using this particular mandolin, you want to try to first secure your item on the tines. And then when you're shredding or cutting, you don't have to follow these lines until it gets closer to it. So you can kind of maneuver and go a little bit on this way, a little bit on this way. See, I'm going kind of across it a little bit like that. When we get to the middle, you do want to line these up so that it runs along these ruts right here. Again, I'll put the link to this particular one in my show notes. I just like this because it's got such a variety of things to change out, and it's non-electric. It's kind of my thing. Okay, I think I missed it, but you get the idea. I've shredded, this is probably, I'd say about 3 beets, maybe 3 good sized beets, and a carrot. Woo! Trying to do this with a camera makes it fly. Yes, my counter's clean. Okay. And I think if I'm judging this correctly, that's probably the right size to get all that in. Again, because we're not putting this in a canner to can like other pickles. This is just going into the fridge. We can use a regular recycled jar. This used to be probably some pasta sauce. I'm going to put about 1/3 of this in. I like this one because it's got a nice wider mouth. And then I'm going to pour some of the brine over it. Same brine we use for the cucumbers. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit better because I know I'm going to use all of it. And remember, this is sugar free, so you're not adding a lot of sugar. Beets have plenty of sugar of their own. Okay, and since that brine doesn't take but a minute to get together, I was able to finish up some. We're going to top it off. Make sure it gets covered. Sure that's all submerged. Okay. Remember, I am not canning. And I'm sorry, but people touch their food. Gosh, that brine already tastes good. So, I'm going to stick them in the fridge. And in a week, they'll good to go.